Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV. As you can see to my right, there we go. I've got to get used to this because I'm not used to doing the live stream stuff. I've got AGT, Alex from the Cop TV, you should know him. If you don't, go and subscribe to his channel, link in the description. Same with Doyle to my further right, also go and give his YouTube channel a subscription. Boys, nice one for coming on.
No worries, boys.
No worries.
Thanks for having us on it.
Yeah,
always a pleasure, never a chore.
Alex, that's the answer that I expect today from you, lads, honestly. I have a lot of love for you, boys. It was about time that I got the Cop group together, the Cop TV group together. Man. Got us on James Redmond TV, and it's going to be good. Hello, everyone, Redmond's Army, welcome to the stream. So today, boys and girls, we're going to be talking, well, we've got a bit of news on Joe Gomez and about his surgery that he's went through today. Also, we're going to be talking about who should replace Joe Gomez for now, literally just until January, because we've still got a bunch of games to play until then. Then who should we buy in January? So we'll go one by one, lads. What I want to start off with, Alex, I want to let you know, Joe Gomez has undergone successful surgery today. Now, as good as that is, we still pretty much know that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. We know Virgil van Dijk isn't there. We know that Rhys Williams and Nat Phillips are not experienced enough at the Premier League level. Who replaces Joe Gomez now?
Fab, lad?
Wow, yeah, the options really are Fabinho, Nat Phillips or Rhys Williams. And I actually had a little think about this when he sent the questions through. And I still can't decide. I still can't give you an answer. It's definitely between Nat Phillips and Fabinho. I think if we take Fabinho into centre-back, you lose him in the midfield, but then Junior could slot in. Whereas if you play Fabinho, further up, you can also play Nat Phillips at the back. And he is an actual 24-year-old central defender with, I don't know about Premier League level, but, top level professional football. He's played in Germany, Stuttgart, up to the Bundesliga. So if looking for a centre-back to come in, a natural one, then I'd maybe swing just towards Nat Phillips,
It makes sense. Doyle, do you agree with Alex there? Do you agree with what he said? And obviously, Nat Phillips has probably shown the most in terms of a Premier League game, which he actually played really well in, arguably the man of the match. Does Alex make a good point there about he's probably the best option we've got right now?
Yeah, lad, because we need physicality as well. When it comes to being at the top of the game, not only do you need to be a good footballer, but you need to have the physicality. And that's something that Rhys Williams doesn't quite. He's a big lad, but he doesn't have it at his age quite yet. Does that make sense? So we need somebody that's going to come in with that physicality. Just be a stable choice. That's what we need. As far as I'm concerned now for the rest of the season, lad, Fab is a centre-back. That's your position for the rest of the season, fella. We've got Matip, we've got Phillips, and we've got Fab. And no, I hate sacrificing Fab from the midfield, but he just needs to be there, lads. We've got no other option. You've got to. Doyle, you've just hit it nail on the head. Because when you talk about the positions that we've got right now, Alex, I agree with you wholeheartedly, brother. Nat Phillips, when he came on against West Ham, I was so proud because everyone was raising an eyebrow when he started that game. People were saying, why hasn't Rhys Williams started? Nat Phillips, what has he ever really done to, stay at Liverpool at the age of 23, 24? But Fabinho has now got, in my opinion, got to stay as a centre-back. He is now had that position change. I actually joked after the Chelsea game when he had that first appearance there and said, that's his position for the rest of the season. He walked into that game as centre mid and walked out as centre back, but he actually could have. Then he did, lad. He actually has. He's done it, lad.
But the lucky thing about that is, even though he might not be a natural born centre back, he's still very good and a very good footballer. And if you can keep him fit, and you can keep him next to either a Matip or whoever you go and buy in January. But for now, and Nat Phillips, let's say, then that's okay. That's not too bad. Would you agree?
Yeah, that sounds. It's absolutely sounds. Fab is a good player, and he grew up playing as a right back, lad. So he already knows the defensive line. He knows what he has to do. He knows how much he has to run. He's a quality player, mate. So I don't see him having any problems slotting in at the back for us. None at all.
So you two say Matip and Fabinho at the back, yeah?
Yeah.
Let me ask you both a question then. So we're playing against Leicester. We're playing Fabinho and Matip at the back. Matip pulls his hamstring in the 4th minute, has to hobble off. Are you saying it's then Nat Phillips and Fabinho?
Yeah.
Because we all know Matip can get injured like that.
We are saying that's exactly what I'm saying, lads. That is exactly what Nat Phillips is, the most stable choice that we have. That's it. There's no other options. We'll play Hendo, maybe, but we need them in the midfield because we haven't got that leadership. Simple as that. We've got Ali at the back as leadership.
Yeah, people mention that. People mention about Henderson moving into the back, and I've said this before. I've actually said it on the COP TV, Alex, and I've said, what if you bring Henderson into the back, you're going to take out the quality that he adds in the midfield. And you're right, Doyle. In fact, you've just hit it nail on the head. Alisson gives that leadership at the back. So you've got Henderson just in front, you've got Alisson just behind. You don't need him there. Get Fabinho in there, and for the question that you just asked, Alex, about if Matip was out, and let's be honest, boys, he's made out of fucking crisps. He's going to probably get another niggle at some point in the season.
Yeah, he is,
this is why we've got to talk about the January.
What type of crisps, though?
Cheese and onion, lads.
Nah, they're a bit there. But cheese and onion,
like power play, you know what I mean?
What texture? You've got to go with the light ones.
Knick-knacks.
Yeah. Do you know the Jag Walkers that you get out of Aldi?
Yeah. The ones that just break apart dead easy, lads.
To break apart dead easy, that's Joe Matip for you, boys. Like, that is Joe
just
Matip.
melts on your tongue.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what Joe Matip is, though, and we've known that pretty much since he joined. I swear when we signed him, he was injured.
Yeah, he was, lad.
I swear when we signed him, he was injured.
Lad, he was in the Bundesliga team of the season. We got him on a free from Schalke, and I was like, yes, and then he was injured, lad. I literally remember it. Like, it was heavy.
That's what I'm saying. So Matip, as much as I love him, and as much as he is a good footballer when he plays, he just doesn't play that much. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just does not play often enough to be Liverpool's starting centre-back. But no, well, we've just talked about, obviously, we know Virgil's out. We've just talked about Joe Gomez. Even Trent got a little injury in the game against Man City, which we know is not ideal. Do all these injuries... obviously they have an impact on our title hopes this season, because if everyone's fit, then that increases our chances. But do these dampen the hopes to the point where we're not even in the title race no more for yous? If it stays like this and we keep getting these type of injuries?
Nah, there's no other than that. I don't think there's a better defence again still. I think Leicester's got an alright defence, City have got an alright defence, and when I look at everyone else, I'm just like, we've got a better attack than everyone else, we can score more goals, lad. Pretty much simple as that for me. It's like, I think this season, defensive attributes have gone out the window anyway, because we just lost 7-2, lads, with Virgil at the back. Do you know what I mean? This season is a mad season. I just think it's going to be who can score the most goals this season, I feel like. That's what it's going to be, lads. And we have players that can score plenty of goals, lad, and that's why I hope all the attacking players are still operating fully. That's why I'm hopeful still, lad.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? Ali as well.
Yeah, I think Bill was right. You can't really compare this season so far to any other season that we've had with the injuries, and even with Virgil at the back, we still let 7 in. So I think we've got a little knack, don't we, of like when a player gets injured, someone fills in, and then he comes back, and someone else might get injured, someone fills in until he gets back. So I think between us all, we can probably all muck in enough, you know what I mean, as a team to help each other out in the areas that we are injured in at the minute.
Yeah,
we're just going to have to make do. It's a bit like the PE teacher putting his boots on and playing right back for a game, because, you know what I mean, the right back.
We're just, lad, like I said on the coffee, we're dipping into our depth, lad. We're just fully dipping into our depth, lad. That's what we're doing.
No,
this is why.
Dipping into the depth.
It's exciting in that perspective, but even Mustafa here agrees with you, Doyle. These defensive injuries will mean the forwards will have to outscore the other teams, and they are definitely capable. And that's 100%. Because one thing that we saw, especially in 17-18, Salah, Mane, and Firmino, that was how we won games, and we done it in style. We got to a Champions League final that way. We got all the way to 97 points that way. Yes, we didn't get over the line, but in most other years you do. And even in that game against Real Madrid, Mo Salah goes off the pitch. That takes away, at that season, your most dangerous offensive player. This season, we can see that our players are probably the best they've ever been. Mane and Salah, not Firmino. Mane and Salah, they seem to keep getting better. Salah will never have a 50-goal a season again, but he can still get 20 to 30 goals. And you're right, Doyle. If we adapted our style of play to basically... to the way we did play in 17-18, outscoring opposition, making that the number one focus, then you're right, we can survive this season, because you've got to bear in mind, we've had Skrtel and Lovren, and we've had Lovren and Sakho, and we've had terrible centre-backs at the back before. So I think you're right in that sense. I
think for me, lads, we don't have to worry, lads. I don't feel like we have to worry that much when it comes to that attacking football. If we play 4 at the front, lad, all that matters is the first 20 minutes, first 30 minutes of the game, and we just need to blow teams away like we used to. Where we do 2-3 goals in that first 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and there's nothing left of the rest of the game that way, lad. Does that make sense? So even if they do get 1 or 2 goals, it's sweet. I feel like that's what Klopp needs to adopt his style to now. Just get the defence just doing a normal job, lads. And there's a little fella there going past on his little thing.
Shout out to the man on the
what's
bike.
That's our two dogs laugh.
And so I think we just need to get back to basics at the front, and then Klopp needs to just tell them boys at the top, put 4 of them on, Jota, Bobby, Mane and Salah, and just put them on and tell them, score goals, lad. Just go mad. Just dynamically change positions constantly. Just go mad and score goals.
Dip in the depth, essentially. Yeah.
Go
But
mad for
we might have to now, because now we've got that safety net of the fact that we haven't got any of these centre-backs available. We don't. Obviously, we still want to get clean sheets, and it's still ideal if we get clean sheets. But if we don't, it's not that bad.
We can't manage games like we used to, lad. We're not going to be able to manage games without leaders like Virgil van Dijk and without people like, Thiago hasn't been playing either. We can't win games without leaders in certain positions or manage games in the way that we have. So basically, we need to change the way we're playing now, lad. And I feel like we used to play with a lesser defence in a really attacking stance, and that's what we can do this season because we have world-class goal scorers, lad. Loads of them. So just get them to score goals, lad. Sweet.
It's a 4-2-4 situation that we've got to revert to now. We've got to make do with what we got. I genuinely think, though, if we have the 3 up top, and let's at the minute call it Mane, Salah and Jota, and we've got Henderson playing and Alisson playing, I genuinely believe we can beat most teams, even if around them, we've got some second-class players in there, not top stuff, but even if we did have to bring in a Keita, I think we'd still win games. If you've got Alisson, Henderson, and the 3 up top, we win a lot more games with them.
He's massive, lad. Alisson is so big, lad. He's huge for this team, lad. So, even now, I'm thinking about the defence, lad. I'm thinking, lads, even when he used to get through, Ali would make saves, lad, all day. So I just feel like, again, until he is gone, when he is gone out that back line and we've got Adrian with that back line, that's when I'll hit White. But
that's when you start to worry,
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Alisson's the one for me, Doyle. And Alisson and Henderson, they're the 2 players for me that if they go out the team, I'm very concerned. And I'm not just saying that because they were the only 2 players out of the Villa game and look what happened there. But I do think if they're there, nothing like that happens. I'm not saying Villa didn't deserve the win on the day, but if them 2 players are on that pitch, even if one of them
wouldn't have been 7-2.
Wouldn't have been 7-2. We could still lose because of the way we played, but it would have not been in any way, shape, or form. Sweet Nancy Francis herself, it would not be 7-2. On any planet, in any sort of era, mate, it would not be 7-2. Now, I think we've just covered all that quite well. Obviously, before we talk about January signings and before we talk about who we want to look at in that aspect, I just want to ask you, boys, I asked you the question just then, can we win the league? Just a prediction. And listen, with the Liverpool channel, with the COP TV, United, on James Redmond TV. Do you think we will win the title? Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen, but do you think we will? Yes, we can, but will we?
I think we will by 3 points.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight one myself. I feel like it's not going to be an easy one, but we will, I think we're great. We're just so good at scoring goals, lad.
You're giving me a heart attack, basically, but you're saying.
It's going to be a Liverpool way of winning the league, lad. It ain't going to be easy, but we'll do it, lad. I feel like that's the type of way anyone's going to win the league this season, lad. And if anyone's got the mentality in their club to do that, it's us, lad. Simple as that. Spurs,
and if we win it, Pep is gone.
Yeah, I don't know if Pep's gone, he hasn't done, lads. Do you know what it is for me, lad? You need to win a Champions League, and that's it, lad. If he doesn't win a Champions League, he hasn't had a successful career at Man City, in my opinion.
Do you know what? I agree with Doyle. I think if he can, and this is going off Liverpool for a second, but we can with a lad. With Pep Guardiola, I think he could go. I think he could be sacked, but he could get away with it if, say, he got second and he got the Champions League. I agree with Doyle. I think he'd be... Nah, he won't, of course. He won't, but I'm saying if, hypothetically, he was able to get that Champions League, I think that puts a lot of coping on what he does in the league this season. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's my
papers over the cracks.
That's it. It papers over the cracks. And even though he's actually a great manager, one of the best in world football, there's levels to this shit, mate. And if you bring in a Pep Guardiola to a Liverpool, doesn't probably elevate
mentality, lads. Mentality is what gets you through the tougher times in cups and in games and leagues and whatever else, lad. They've had the depth for so many years that Liverpool never, and that's why they won the league so many times before us, lad. As soon as Liverpool got a big enough depth for their squad, lad, and started playing well, we won the league, lad. So they haven't got nothing to fall back on now, lad. They've got depth, so have we, but we've got a mentality that they haven't, lad. And that's why we'll win, lads. I really feel like what separates us genuinely is the mentality of our club, lad. It's not the players, lad. It's the mentality. Salah came here from Roma as a reject, lad. Southampton, Manny came from Southampton as a player that and everyone thought he was too expensive, lad. This team is all about mentality, not just about talent, lad. It's not City. City's just about talent and money, lad.
Yeah.
And it's a great team to watch, and we love them for that, lad. But otherwise, lad, they haven't got the winning stuff, materials that Liverpool have, lad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They just don't, lad. And neither does Spurs, and neither does Leicester. They're all flat merchants, lad, and we're not anymore. We're champions, lad. Champions, bro.
Champions, bro.
You know what I mean? Lads?
Champs, bro. Nah, you're like,
champions, bro.
nah, do you know what? I actually feel better there. You talked about mentality there, Doyle, and you hit the nail on the head there, mate, because that's what Liverpool have been built to do. Now, when it comes to deciding who we're going to bring in January, now, I'm not going to... spoiler alert, I'm sure we're all going to sign a centre-back. I'm sure we all want to sign a centre-back.
I hope so, boys. You know what I mean? I hope so.
But the question is, though, boys, before I ask who would you like to see us go in and get, who do you think we'll go in and get, do you think there's a possibility, just a slim chance, Alex, I'll go to you first, that Klopp could be naive? Because we know he's been very neglectful in some transfer windows, whether it's him or whether it's Edwards. Liverpool in general have been quite neglectful in some transfer windows. Do you think this could be one of them where he doesn't think he needs a new centre-back?
No, lads. No way, lads.
I think
one sec, Doyle. Let Alex answer first.
Yeah.
Sorry, lads.
Doyle,
I can't have it, lads.
He's like,
life as well.
Badgie.
Just fucking wait your turn, honestly. Fucking imbecile.
Wait there.
No,
Jared, I'm not Irish.
Scousmate. I think there's a 20% chance that Klopp doesn't buy a centre-back, you know. And that sounds quite small, but that's a fifth of, you know, percentages. So there is still a slight chance that I think he'll go, actually, I'm happy with what we've got. And if he does that, then I would get worried. Again, way more worried than I am now. But I think everyone on this channel right now, including the players themselves probably, think, right, well, we're going to either have to do something in January or pray for a miracle that no one else gets injured. But that's so unlikely. We've seen this season already, 14 injuries, first team injuries as well. So I think as soon as January the 1st comes round, we will 80%, I hope, get someone. Who that is, we'll debate, obviously, but there is a slight opportunity there that Klopp could maybe disappoint us and just think that, well, we've got this far through to January without having a recruit. Let's do it. Everyone's predicting to spend in January. You know, clubs are trying to cut back. The owners probably thought, oh, right, we've got everyone in until January. Probably won't get anyone then. But now we might have to go out and spend 40 or 50 million. That's an unexpected, unaccounted for 40, 50 million that the owners might not want to spend. So I'm just trying to think of it as a realistic, I don't know. I want to get something. If it's realistic, it's a different question.
Just get someone on loan and pay a decent wage, lad. Simple as that, lad.
See,
don't buy anybody.
Doyle, before, because I know that Doyle is fully set, and I know, Alex, if you could have the choice, I'm sure you would even go everything hammer and tongue to get a decent centre back.
Of course.
But I agree with Doyle. I agree with Alex to some degree there that I think there is a big possibility that that Jurgen Klopp might not go out and get a centre back. What do you think? Do you think that there is a chance that he could be naive enough to leave that out and miss that position out? Because who's to know if we're going to sign anyone?
I think he's going to sign one, lad. I think he'll get a loan. He won't buy. He doesn't necessarily have to. If he's going to buy someone, lad, it's going to be a kid, another kid, or somebody that's going to be old enough to sit on the bench and be happy to sit on the bench. Someone like a David Alaba or somebody like that. Or if he's smart, lad, he can find somebody on loan because we're going to be held to ransom for anybody that we buy anyway. So if we want to buy someone, lad, they're going to charge us loads more than we would usually pay. So what I would suggest, like what I would want to do, is get somebody on loan, lad. Get someone on loan for a year or something. That we'll pay high wages for them or something stupid like that, which will work out less than a big naughty transfer fee. Someone that's just going to be reliable and get us over the line, lad. Someone
and then
like
if it works, slap the money down.
Yeah, there you go, lads. And that's
slap
it, lad.
the money down.
It's like we just got to think about it logically, lads. We don't have to panic here, lads. We don't have to panic. So that's the way I'm seeing it. We've got good enough players here. It's not like we have no centre backs. We do have Matip and we do have Fab. Just get someone on loan.
Nah, do you know what, lads? Doyle, you make me feel so much better about myself, you know that?
That's what I'm here for, lads.
I've not been in the point where, like, I've put us out of the title race. Like, I think we will still go on to win the league, even if we do have a similar pattern of injuries for the rest of the season. I think it'll happen for the other teams as well. But you've just put it in perspective. Like, if we go and sign a player, it's like we are kind of back into the position where we're okay again. Because obviously, yeah, anything can happen to Matip, but who's to count for your two first-choice centre-backs going out for the whole season and then having to then replace them in the January? Like, yeah, we should replace them, but we shouldn't be worrying, because one, Jurgen Klopp shouldn't have had to anticipate this, and second off, it's simply a case that if you do bring in a centre-back, you're putting them next to Fabinho or Joel Matip. Worst positions to be in my opinion. So, Doyle, lad, you've just summed it up, and Alex as well. But talking about the players that we want to sign, talking about the players who we think will sign, I'm not going to lie, boys, I'll throw a few names out there, and these are the ones that are realistic, because I know people are going to throw out a Koulibaly. We will not get in January. I don't think we'll ever get Koulibaly, but I can tell you now, and I can tell you for free, we're not going to get him in January. But when I talk about players who we could get, I'm looking at an Upamecano. He's probably the biggest name and the biggest one on the Liverpool fans' radar. That's one. Then you've got Kabak from Schalke. You've also got Ben White. You've also got Per Shares from Ajax. There's many options out there. Alex, I'll come to you first. Who do you think would be the best, most sensible option in terms of money, in terms of age, in terms of the position that we're in now? In your
Who do I want? Conor Coady. Who do I think will get that Kabak? And who I don't think will get is like Upamecano. That's just that's like the realistic and kind of dream one there, really. So
Alaba, you think we'll get Coady? You want it?
No, I want us to get Coady, just because it's just literally the perfect transition in his career and his life. Just come home. It's simple. Come home. Just come home. Win the league. Come home. Do you fancy it? Right? And then I don't think we'll get Upamecano. I think that's a summer transfer, if anything, and they'll hold us to ransom, which we just won't pay. Kabak fella is a bit younger, isn't he? So I just can't. How old is what's his name? Upamecano? He's 24 or something.
23, lads.
Yeah, he's 23.
He does fit the bill, but I do think we just won't be held to ransom in January. Just can't see us happening.
Before I ask you, Doyle, I want to touch on Conor Coady, someone who I never mentioned there, because everyone's talking about Upamecano, and I'll say who I want to sign in a minute, as well as Doyle. But you mentioned Conor Coady, and the thing that I want to say about that is as good as I think of a player as I think he is, I just don't know if I would sign him, because I don't think he fits our system. I think he's better in a 3 or in a 5 at the back. I don't know if he fits in a 4 at the back formation next to a Matip or something. Do you disagree? Because that's me. From what I think, I don't know if he'd come into our system.
23, lads. You talking about
one before we do though, boys? Let me just say this super chat. Michael Jenkins, thank you for the £5 super chat. Yes, James, keep the faith. Redmond's Army #1. You know the score, fellas. Love from everyone here at James Redmond TV, of course. Nice one for the super chat, fella. But no, go on, carry on. What was you saying, Alex? Or Doyle?
Can't remember now.
What was the question?
Brain fart. So I'm not gonna lie, that the super chat always throws you off on these live streams, mate. I'll tell you that.
So I get shared down 3 ways then, or where do we pick that up? Or
we were talking about.
Would he fit in a back 4?
Yeah, Conor Coady fitting in.
Lads, he'll fit in anywhere. Like, he's one of them type of players. I feel like he's just an old English centre-back, and lad, if you put him in the centre-back position, lad, he's going to do it. I just don't think it's right of us, lad, to drag him out of a captain position in a good team to go, do you want to be our backup centre-back next season, lad?
No,
How old is he?
He's like 27, 28. He's been the captain of Wolves.
Lad, he's got a good few years left in him then, you know what I mean, lads?
I think we have to be ruthless if we want him though. Sorry to cut in, but I don't think we sell it to him as, do you want to come be our backup centre back? It's, can you play on Saturday because we need a fucking centre back and we're at home with Liverpool, you're a scout lad. Do you want to come and live your dream out kind of thing? I don't even think it's, do you want to be a backup centre back? We'll work that out when we get to next season and we know who's not injured and who is injured. But right now, it's January. We need you to play on Saturday. Can you come?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I think Alex is right, because we're looking. A lot of Liverpool fans, including myself, have been looking at it from the perspective like, he'd be coming in to be better than Lovren. That's the way I've said it pretty much the whole since summer. But I see what you're saying, Alex. When it comes to promoting that position to Conor Coady, like, they're not going to be saying, "Oh, you're coming in to replace Lovren and be the fourth choice." You're coming in to fill in a dream. You're right. You're telling a story. You've got to bring him in that way. You're right there, Alex. If he was to go in for a Conor Coady, I think that's the approach that we would most certainly have to take, because he is a scouser. He is a leader, regardless what you want.
His head would definitely get turned. Trust me. If there was a phone call from Klopp, I know Carragher was joking about it on Sky Sports. I know he's the captain. He has to be very, very careful about what he says, where he's going. Yeah. He's at the peak of his powers right now. If he gets a phone call, trust me, like, he's not gonna ignore that call.
He's a scouser lad.
I don't want to mistake that though. When I said that I don't know if he'd fit in our system, I don't want that to be mistaken for that.
Okay, but where else is better to learn our system than with us? Like, just he's good. He's 28. Come and be the next Virgil van Dijk. Fuck it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've just been absolutely tethered there. Yeah, fair point there, Alex. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. You know, like when you just listen to a point and you shut your mouth because you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
it's like he's going to turn up and they go, you know, yeah, you've only played in the back two before, haven't you? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, do you want to learn how to play in the back two? Yeah. Come on in.
It's like, if there's any club in the world that he's going to learn at the best time to play in a back two, it's at Liverpool under Klopp.
Come on down.
Come on down.
The reality is as well, Gomez, as good as he is, lad, he's injury prone anyway. Before Virgil got injured, he was getting injured all the time, lad. I looked at a stat, get on this heavy stat, lad. He's been to 3 training sessions from England, I've cost him 100 Liverpool games, lad, in total. 3 training sessions, lad. That means he's been injured that much from training sessions. He just shouldn't go. Just don't go to England, lad. I reckon rival teams are just standing all over them or something on purpose.
Before we talk about any more transfers, I want to touch on that. I want to get your opinions on it, boys. International break, international friendlies, more importantly. What the fuck? And before you say your piece, I've said my piece on this channel, but I just want to offer to you. And this is what the counter fan, like, you know, the fans who don't particularly agree with this point. Someone said to me yesterday, James, you wouldn't be saying that if Joe Gomez never got injured. Alex, I said it on your channel in the summer. I said international breaks are pointless. You shouldn't have to do them. I said it before the first international break this season, before we even knew there was going to be a crisis. International breaks, 2 games against Bolivia and fucking Peru mean fuck all. And also, even in a fitness sense, the England players aren't going to be playing with each other till fucking July. Are you mad? Like, you're mad. You can't be coming in with these, like, and Liverpool as well. In my opinion, I think they should have took the approach that this area our clubs took, and took that stance and not let your players go. Because if we've got very few players, bear in mind we've just lost Trent. Joe Gomez is like one of 2 other players that can go to England from our squad, along with Hendo. Like, why are you letting them go?
I think,
like,
lads,
looking back
with us, because we're Scousers, lads, as well. Lads. Not many Scousers support England anyway when it comes to that type of stuff, do they? So we don't see, like, I'm a Scouser before I'm an Englishman, lad, tell you that.
True.
So,
same.
Do you know what I mean, lad? So, I don't want to see Gomez and Trent getting off to go and win something for England. I'd rather Liverpool win something than England win something. So, lad, if they could be just excluded from all England stuff, that'd be great, lads.
That'd be fantastic.
or just play it in the summer, lad, when you can't get injured in the fucking season, lad, and ruin the season for us, lad. Play it in the summer.
Can we just shout
out? Miss 100 games that's mind blowing. It makes me depressed thinking about
100 games is serious. Like, I didn't even.
He's only just got 100 for Liverpool the other day.
That's mad. Shout out to Diego. He's our boy.
Man like Diego.
Yes, I hope my players will take Palace in one piece. Yeah, Diego. I wish we could say the same. Send them players our way, brother. So before we wrap up this video, lads, we'll do 5 more minutes or so. Let's talk about a few more options from the January transfer window. Before we do, we've just got a super chat from Billy Kumateo. Yeah, there we go. There's another centre-back that we could be playing. You know what I mean? Right, so a few other players. You mentioned one of them before, Alex, Kabak. I agree with you in the sense that he's probably the most realistic sign that we're likely to make. Like, you know, he's good on the ball, he's young, he's 20 years of age. Some people have brought up about the fact that he spat at someone on the pitch or something. And his attitude is mad, but I don't know if that'll come into play.
We've already had one player that used to. Well, we've probably had a few that used to spit at people. With Suarez probably doing it at one point in his career, and Juff as well. But if we're going to buy a quote unquote fourth choice centre back, I'd rather it's a 20-year-old, because again, that's just someone with 10 years in front of him, learning probably for the next 5 years from the best centre back there's been in the last however many seasons.
I agree.
So I almost look at it as a university, like, come and learn. Do you know what I mean? You're going to get to the ceiling if you join us. And if you, I mean, listen, we're not talking about, the down Tenerife football pitch. I think, that level is very different. But if Liverpool looking, thinking, could sign him, then that obviously means you have the quality. So come to school and learn. And I'd rather us do that than buy a 32-year-old, player to help us from January to May or whenever the season finishes. Getting dark where Doyle is, by the way. He's,
I was thinking that.
Sitting on a bench talking to a phone. It looks a bit weird now.
I think it's either way, lads. You need an one with experience, lad, that's just going to come in and plug the hole, lads. Or you need someone that's going to be willing to stay on the bench, lad, when that time comes, if it comes, lad, and just willing to learn. I think it's either or, lad. No problem getting an older person like David Alaba, lad, who's won everything, done everything, lad. You know what I mean, lad? There's no problem getting him in.
Yeah, in fact, Alaba is someone who I want to talk about.
Under Klopp as well, lads.
From Piero Regina, who should Klopp sign? Defo, give me a shout. I'm a proper 2-foot tackler up the Redmond army. Listen, Piero will take anything out of right about now, my brother. Listen, nice one for the super chat. But no, just to answer that question, who should Klopp sign? I think Doyle just made a very good mention. David Alaba.
Yeah.
So, not going to be signing a new contract at Bayern. I don't think they'll want to let him go in January, but if Liverpool can push it, then go and try and push it.
Just get him on a naughty loan.
That's it. Not even a loan, his contract's running out. And not only that, Doyle, you're not just getting a centre-back. And Alaba is another person who I'm not sure to play in a fourth, but like Alex said, who changed my mind before, he can learn. We are education. We are the best university out there. We are Oxford, but like Scouts. Yeah. We're Scouts, Oxford. We're as smart as Oxford, but as Scouts as Scouts. And when I talk about David Alaba, he has rotation. And in times like this, in my opinion, I think you need versatility in players. I think you need versatility in David Alaba. Like James Milner, in times like this, he's a perfect player to have. Do you know what I mean? I think David Alaba is a shout. I think he's a shout as well. Ben White is a shout.
We'll keep an eye on Ben White.
You can put Alaba on any part that back line as well.
He's a winner, Alaba's a winner.
He's a winner, exactly, lad. And with Klopp as well, lad, he'll have a little good relationship. I know he played for Bayern, but still German. I know he's Austrian and that, lad, but he's lived in Germany. I was like, but that makes sense to me. A lot. Just say the same way that Chelsea have got Thiago Silva in, we'll get somebody like that to plug a hole, lad. I see it working, lad.
Yeah. No, I understand. Well, before we end the video, boys, in fact, it's a question here from Zach Clark. We're going to talk about, so we've just mentioned about some of the players that we're going to want in the January transfer window in terms of centre-back. So what was our conclusion? Just name one player that you want. So yours was Conor Coady, Alex, Doyle.
Yeah, David Alaba.
David Alaba. Do you know what? If I could choose, I'd say Upamecano, because I think it's the more realistic, best option that there is there. Even though he's got a few injuries. Before we wrap up, though, boys, any other players that you'd sign in the January transfer window, i.e. a backup goalkeeper, or there's been links with Jan Mat, or whatever his face is today, the former Newcastle right back. Would you take him, and who else would you sign in January?
Not Jan Mat, lad. I think he's dodgy at me.
Yeah, he's dodgy. I'd rather play Nico Williams.
Yeah, definitely Nico Williams. That's the whole point of promoting Nico, I think. So, leave him alone. But I think, again, I do think that the backup goalkeeper is a summer thing. I think we'd be held to ransom. And I do, bro. Who are we going to get? And we'd have to get rid of Adrian,
we can't. We can't risk, because one thing that we've learned, Alex, to play devil's advocate, we've learned that we took the risk with Van Dijk, Gomez and Matip. We thought that was a good thing to go into the season with. Look what happened. We have now, one thing that's a blessing with all these injuries, we've actually got to see who's the shit and who's not.
Yeah,
so Adrian is more than shit.
Yes, 100%.
So how can we go forward knowing that Alisson, who does get the odd injury, how can we go forward knowing that Adrian could be back in net?
I 100% agree with every single thing you've just said then. But with all these other injuries that have happened now, Adrian's slipped way under the radar now. People aren't even thinking about the second choice goalkeeper anymore. They're thinking about who's playing centre-back, Nat Phillips or Fab. We'll address that issue, which definitely needs addressing, but we'll do it in the summer, bro. I just cannot think.
We're only going to get one, lad.
we're going to get something. Yeah, one hole. It's a little. I mean, ideally, as if you're asking me, I'd love to get a striker as well in January. But again, striker and backup goalkeeper will happen in the summer. Right now in January, I say right now, we've still got 2 bloody months to wait. But in January, that's where we get a centre back, which is one of the ones that we've hopefully mentioned tonight.
Agreed.
Yeah, do you know what, boys? I want to keep talking here and coming up with a solution. My solution would just be a centre-back and a backup goalkeeper. If we got them 2 in January...
That's my solution as well, but there's realism and then there's...
I know what you're saying, Alex. You're saying it from the club's point of view, which is a good perspective to give, because I was thinking from my perspective, sign him, but obviously...
Go and buy him now, lads, quick!
Just go and buy him, he's only a tenner!
Just fucking do it!
You know what I mean, lad? But it's just... It doesn't work that way.
Doyle, I'm worried.
Yeah,
don't worry, lads.
We're going to round this up now, boys. Thank you very much for coming on. For those who have just joined live, Doyle is actually a person. He's not just a shadow. But boys, nice one for coming on. Obviously, go and subscribe to the Cop TV, and then go and subscribe to do it for me, Alex. Point to Doyle. Yeah, man. Go and subscribe to Doyle as well. For fuck's sake, Alex, do it well at least.
I'll just point at myself.
Go and subscribe to them too. Obviously, we're always on the Cop TV. Show us a lot of love. Nice one for coming in, though, boys. Hopefully, do this more often, yeah?
Yeah, mate. Whenever you need me.
This time Let's do
it. Right, nice one, everyone, for watching. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, and I will see you all in a visual.
Boys.